250. Oh, sorry, 250.
So for the $500 prize, we had Dennis. And for the $1,000 prize, we had Ashton Warlock.
Yeah. What? So exactly. $750. Yeah, there's that.
I'm just reading off the email that you gave me. This is the email. Okay, and for the $1,000 prize was Jacob Christofoli.
Thanks very much. Sorry about that confusion. We've got two different emails that came around with different numbers on them, so that's the confusion. That's my fault. I'll take that one. It's time to wrap up. It's time to sort of finish off what has, I think, been a great conference. Now, I can say that because I kind of planned a lot of it, and I hope that everybody feels exactly the same. None of this is possible without a huge team of people that work towards it. And a lot of the effort that goes into this, this is my first year organizing it, and I have to say, when I volunteered, or was volunteered, I should say, by Carla, to put the program together, I was really quite naive. I didn't know quite how much work it actually entailed. And so I've got to take my hat off to Susan, who has been doing this for a number of years, to say, wow, how did you manage to keep it going? Because it's hard work. That being said, anything that's hard work is infinitely easier when you're working with people that are great fun. And I have to say, I'll give credit to the Epic, the whole team are brilliant to work with. Their dedication to this, because none of them get paid to sort this out, this is all volunteer work. And they give their time and effort. And there's, because Marco, for example, is based in Italy, Carlo's in New Orleans, I'm in London, trying to get together on Zoom is never an easy task, and it's always either at some god-awful time of the night or very early in the morning, depending on where we are. And so that sort of dedication is really something that you can't buy. And it's a pleasure to be a part of that team, and as the new person, it's a pleasure to be working with them. But there's a lot of other people behind the scenes. And I know a few technical glitches aside, I think the AV guys have been brilliant, so I'd like to give them an appreciation. It's always difficult when things go wrong to then try and sort them out in real time. So, well done, guys. Thank you very much for your help. I'd also like to thank the hotel staff who've been coming and running around. We have our meals in this whilst presentations are going on. And the fact that they can slip in so seamlessly and almost disappear into the ether again without making too much noise is quite a skill. I wish my kids could do it. They can't. But those sort of things. So, thank you again to them. So a big round of applause for those guys. Many of you here will have seen that we had an army, basically, of interns. The idea with this was that we had people apply to come and be a part of this team. So anybody in the first and second year of their student career could come and work with us, all expenses paid in terms of getting over here. and they would be a fundamental part of this conference. And so you've just seen 4 of them, and you can see the quality of the candidates we had. Now, some of this was sponsored by the vendors, and some of this was sponsored by us directly. And I can honestly say they have been absolutely brilliant. They have worked tirelessly. They've never need to be, pushed or prodded. They've been here every morning at about 6:15, and they've been here at 6:15 in the evening, because that is what they need. And they're constantly running around. They're constantly trying to help us out. There's no way I could have kept everything running as smoothly, I hope it's smooth, as it was without their help. So I think we need an extra loud round of applause for these guys. And without their help and assistance, this stuff wouldn't happen. Now, they have a team of people, and we'll have to say Amy in the corner there has been looking after them, clucking around like the mother hen. And I think she's done a great job. So thank you, Amy. There are lots of other people, and I could go on for hours about all the other people that are there. There's a lot of people that I haven't listed, Christy, for example, and I think Bridget's gone, unfortunately, and there's a lot of, hello everyone. So there's loads of other people involved in this, whether it's for marketing, whether it's sitting on the registration desk, whether it's being around talking to vendors to keep things going. So it takes an army of people to get this going. And I think it's a testament to the fact of how much of this is done for the enjoyment of what they do. They're still smiling at the end of what is 4 quite long days, really, from behind the scenes. And we've got Luke, of course, who has been helping out, and numerous other people who get involved in the committee, John. But there are 2 people that I've mentioned already that I want to give a special thanks to. And just to give you some idea of who they are, just to explain, so Marco, of his own free will, sent me this photo just to make me chuckle after. I think we had a week of, we were trying to meet up, and I'd done, I think it was like 5 transplants in 6 days or something. It's ridiculous. So I was trying to juggle everything, and these guys were sort of my sort of light relief, if you like. And on one particular occasion, and this is the one on the right-hand side, when we got a Zoom call, because of course that's the only way you can do these things, we were meeting up with Gabriella, who's one of our keynote speakers, as I'm sure you're aware, who did an excellent job yesterday. Getting onto that, we don't know how, but Carla had got this cat stuck on her head. And no matter what we tried, for at least 20 minutes, we could not turn it off. And I think part of this, it kind of highlights the fact that, it took us 9 months, really of solid work to kind of get this all together. But probably at least 8.5 months of that was laughter. So we probably would have been a lot quicker if we actually stopped laughing, but you can't when you're working with a team like that. So a special round of applause, please, for Carla and Marco. Finally, to all the speakers themselves. We can book them in, but they've got to turn up and they've got to give a presentation that people want to listen to. Now, maybe people are just being kind, but I have heard nothing but praise for every single person that's come up here. And let's not forget, we've had people from all over the world, whether it be Thailand, Australia, Germany, Belgium, England, Canada. And what that shows is actually there is a real will to make sure that as a community, we give something back. We make sure that we provide the input and the impetus to make sure that perfusion never stagnates, it never stands still. We've got people who are just looking around. Bill Regan, giving that wonderful presentation on mitochondrial transplant. It shows the power of what perfusionists can do, and not just from behind a pump, but actually getting involved in science elsewhere. It's a talented team that we have here. And we can never assume that just because our role is to sit behind a pump that defines us, because it doesn't. What we've seen, I hope, over this last few days, is that there are some wonderful people within this profession, and probably more than we realize, and more than we take for granted. And actually, each one of us has a certain set of skills. And what we hope to do in the future is bring those skills out, give them a platform on which to go forward. So, I have just been told that for as long as I'd like to do this, I'm going to continue trying to put this agenda together, which is something that I think, I would like to do, working with these guys. And it's something that I hope to really keep pushing year on year on year. So whilst it's nice to stand here and say, I think it's been great, what I need at some point is to have honest feedback. No matter how good it is, it can always be better. We can always improve. So if there are things that you haven't seen or things that you think we can do, get in touch, because we will take that feedback and we will go with it. There are certain things that we're doing in terms of supporting the students coming through, not only in the fact of bringing them here, but also, like I said, we're giving them free access. We're going to try and expand it by looking to work with other countries to get more CEU points. So more and more people can join into one meeting, whether it be virtually or they can come here physically, to see some of the best speakers around in perfusion. What I've tried to do is give people who are at the top of their game, the people who write the papers, the people who write the books, to get them to instill a sense of, this is what you can do. This is what is possible. And what you just need to believe is that you can do that as well. Because there's a lot of people here, like I said, far better than I am. But what I can probably do is give you a platform on which that you can show that, and you can take it forward. And you can be the next people that will eventually be the leaders. As Bharat Dat said, we need people who are going to inspire and move forward. As you heard from Martin Elliott, I've been very, very fortunate to come from a line of great mentors. And part of doing this is to try and give back. Mark de Laval trained Martin. Martin has trained me. And if I can give you 1% of what I have learned from those two great men, then I think I've made a difference. I hope I'll make a difference. And so that is the ethos of what this is all about. We don't make money from this. This is not a profitable event, should we say. And that's not the purpose of it either. Yes, we've got to have enough funds to make sure it all works. But this isn't about making sure that we take as much money as possible. The value that this will give is to improve time and time again the conduct and the quality of the perfusionists that come through these doors. That in turn will have benefits on the patients, and that is what we're all about. That is why we are here. That's the ultimate goal. Don't lose sight of that, because that's the most important thing. We can all talk research, we can all do all these bits and pieces, but at the end of the day, it's the lives at the end of our lines, at the end of our pumps, that we're all here to improve, prolong, and make better. And the more we can do, the more value we can add by increasing what we know and sharing what we know and what we can do, the better the patients will be. And to me, there's no greater value. Thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you again next year.